Anthony Grasso here, bringing you financial news that you can use. In this video, I'm going to go over the daily highlights on the economy and the stock market and give a few insights. So let's get right into it. And as always, folks, don't forget to smash that like button down below. Definitely helps. And consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell if you like your daily stock reviews and recommendations from an unbiased source. All right, so this video is always brought to you by Webull right now. It's an online brokerage trading platform where you can buy stocks, options, ETFs, and cryptocurrencies. Now, if you sign up today and deposit any amount, you can get up to 12 free stocks by using my referral link in the description down below. And it helps me out because I get paid for a referral. All right, so the biggest news of today is that we're waiting for the Federal Reserve Chairman to speak tomorrow at the annual Jackson Hole, Wyoming symposium. Now, Fed watchers do not expect a new message from the Fed chairman right now, just a tougher version of the central bank's promise to slow inflation by raising interest rates. That's what we're all expecting tomorrow, right? Now, Powell is likely to emphasize that the Fed is likely to quickly reverse course after it reaches an end rate, as the futures market has been expecting. Now, investors are looking for new guidance in the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's speech, but he could instead just deliver the same inflation fighting message. He's on repeat, just with a much tougher edge, because that's him. Now, Powell's expected to emphasize that the central bank will use all of the firepower it needs in the form of interest rate hikes to snuff out inflation. He is also likely to point out that after the Fed finishes raising rates, it is likely to hold them there, contrary to market expectations that it will actually start to cut interest rates next year. So we don't know what's going to go down, but yeah, that makes sense. He's probably going to raise the rates and it's going to just stay there until inflation is in the bucket. All right. So in other news, speaking about stock futures right now, well, as we speak right now, futures are dipping slightly overnight. Now, the futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 63 points so far. I haven't checked it in the past 5 minutes. S&P 500 futures lost 0.2%, and NASDAQ 100 futures have slipped by 0.1%. So just slightly slippage in the overnight futures. Now, the moves followed an all-up day for the major indexes today, in which the Dow jumped up about 300 points, and the S&P 500 gained 1.4%. Now, the NASDAQ composite was the outperformer today, advancing 1.7% as a pullback in yields helped tech stocks. The 10-year Treasury yield jumping above 3% this week brought volatility back into stocks, and with it, daily speculation that the Fed is not going to do enough to fight inflation. That was Robert Cantwell, portfolio manager at Up Holdings. That's what he told CNBC today. He said also, overall, it remains a really attractive moment to invest in equities. This is a good point. He said underlying company performance is strong for the highest quality companies and multiples are down. Now, when they say multiples, that means the price to earnings ratios, they're coming down. So we're looking at high quality companies with the stock price coming down because of macro fears. This is a setup for longer term investors, what we look for. And I'm going to be looking for those stocks to do reviews on and not to do any BS stocks. I want to do high quality stock reviews to give you guys good stocks to look at to possibly pick. Now, nevertheless, that all the major averages are on pace for their second straight down week. The Dow is on track for a 1.2% decline. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ composite are heading to slightly smaller declines of 0.7% and 0.5% respectively. Now, all eyes again are on that Powell speech, and I'm going to be there at 10 a.m. watching it. You know, so investors are hoping for new guidance about the Fed with the act this autumn, but expectations are lower, like I said, with many expecting Powell just reiterate the promise to slow inflation by raising interest rates. Now, opinions are divided, though, on whether the Fed will bump rates by 0.5 percentage point or 0.75 percentage point at the next policy meeting in September. Now, I'm guessing because we have midterms going, you know, if he does a 1%, he's going to crash the market. He does a 75%, it's going to be a bear market. A 0.5%, it's going to be a little, a little neutral, and a 0.25 point will shoot up the market. That's just my opinion, shooting from the hip. Now, Gabriel Santos, a global market strategist at JP Morgan Asset Management, said we're likely to see relief tomorrow unless we get a big shock from what Powell says. That's what she told the CNBC's Closing Bell Overtime. She also said one thing that I would keep an eye out on if we look into the next week and into the fall, implied bond volatility is still very, very high for where it is normally is in late August. That's suggesting that we actually are likely to continue seeing a lot of action in the yield curve right now, which could affect stock markets in the fall. Now let's switch it up a little bit. I want to look at an article I just came across of a stock I reviewed last year that I was a big sell on, Peloton. Now their quarter came out and it was just horrendous. Now the Peloton CEO Barry McCarthy, he has a turnaround plan going on right now, and investors right now are fleeing the company after discouraging fourth quarter. I saw it coming a year ago, but and I recommended just stay away from it, but they still can't get their act together a year into it. So I haven't even looked at them for months already. So what they did is on Thursday morning, it was losses in the 3 months period ending June 30th amounted to $1.2 billion, and sales fell roughly 28% from a year ago levels. Its connected fitness gross margins eroded as inventories piled up and transportation and storage expenses mounted. Now, we happen to sit smack in the middle of a pivot, the former Netflix and Spotify executive told analysts on Thursday. Now, the Peloton is testing a rental option, new pricing tiers within its digital app, and the ability to play its content on competitors' hardware. But I know we're there looking at the company again. So last year I did a review on it, and I was just a sell recommendation on it. Without even looking at the company, I'm still probably a sell recommendation on it. But if you want me to do updated stock analysis videos of things I've done a year ago, just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll go rehash those old videos and then do updates on them. Well, let me bring it back over here. Well, those are my daily highlights for today. And if there's anything in particular that you'd like me to keep on a daily basis in these reports, please leave them in the comments down below. I'll look at some data points, and whatever you guys want to hear about on a nightly basis in a less than 10-minute time frame, just let me know. So there you have it, folks. And as always, don't forget to smash that like button down below. Definitely helps. And consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell right there if you'd like to hear daily stock reviews and recommendations, and then daily stock updates on the market in general. Until the next stock update video later today, folks. Ciao.